We did reach out to Mandel's campaign this morning asking for a comment for this story. We've heard nothing back. However, the Senate hopeful has tweeted 8 times today. Our Ohio code is up to date, but that's only the first step towards making sure our buildings are safe. It is hot, it's humid, but that has not stopped hundreds of people from coming out here. I'm going to step aside a little bit so you can just see this is one sliver of the festival. This is in a hope that if we give the kids something to do and a safe place to go, that they'll be less likely to end up on the streets with a gun. With every step I take, my feet are just sinking into the mud and into the puddles here. And the art and the message, they're standing the test of time. The building, not so much.
What am I going to do if they run in here and start shooting my babies and stuff?
Tony Ruiz's daughter lives on the 1900 block of Mansfield Road. The block is filled with quaint houses, manicured yards, and bullet holes.
There's a bullet hole right there, bullet hole right there.
Records show Toledo police have responded to the Ruiz home 5 times in the last 2 months for people driving by in cars, shooting at the home.
It's happening all the time. It's got to stop.
Police say on July 10th, a 17-year-old boy, James Haig, was shot and killed. Ruiz says Haig was babysitting at the time. Then 5 days later...
And then right after the vigil, they came by again. And that's when my son called me and said, Terry just called and said they're shooting up the house again.
Betty Delgado Flores lives next door. Her home has also been hit by gunfire, and her daughter is worried.
They said, "Mom, what else can do? Now somebody called me and you dead." And I said, "What?" Say, bye-bye.
One bullet came through her window and lodged in her wall after making a pass through her couch, in the exact spot her husband usually lays his head while watching TV. Delgado Flores mostly worries about Ruiz's grandchildren. He has 8 living next door, ranging from 1 to 17. There have been 40 murders in Toledo this year, and she worries about who will be number 41.
I'm 65 years old. I'm living no matter what, one day I go. But who's going to blame this little kid?
Delgado Flores is staying in her home. She's lived there 25 years. But the Ruiz family?
She's not even staying here now. I don't want to say where she's at, but he's not staying here. Nobody's staying here. But it's a shame.
It just makes you feel sad. Like, you want everything to look nice. It doesn't really communicate that message having a house like this.
Winding Way in Sylvania, a picturesque neighborhood, with an exception, 5840.
Just a lot of decay. We've had some cats living around the property. There's like a hole in the roof that they've been getting in and out of.
Deutsche Bank, one of the largest banks in the world, owns the property. But neighbors say no one takes care of it. Sarah Martin lives directly behind the home and has to look at the deterioration every day.
I don't understand why it has to sit and continue to just fall apart and not be taken care of whatsoever.
A notice on the door from the city's zoning department cites the property for multiple violations. It dates back to July. But neighbors say after numerous complaints, action from the city has been minimal.
It's frustrating to feel like I have to look at this house and nobody else in the city is caring.
According to Sylvania's law director, the city has been cutting the grass. That cost will be added to the property taxes. But the bank has been unresponsive to the city's citations, and this isn't the first time. According to NPR, in 2013, Deutsche Bank paid the city of Los Angeles $10 million to settle a claim that the bank had neglected 2,000 foreclosed properties. After 13 ABC made some calls, we learned that the city of Sylvania is following in LA's footsteps and filing charges against the bank for zoning violations. The first court date is October 27th. For Sarah Martin, it can't come soon enough.
Again, frustrating to see, this eyesore in the middle of this really beautiful neighborhood.
We like to give people their flowers when they're no longer around to smell them. So we want to make sure he get his flowers while he's alive and he's here with us. Not saying he's going anywhere anytime soon, but you never know.
It started with a Facebook post. Glandoy Hill III asking the community to spend $20 at Daly's Dis and Dat variety store.
It's kind of crazy, but it makes me feel good when I talk to them about the good life. They motivate their life and do things good for people. And now it's coming back to me now.
And the community came with the money, but also with the stories.
Hello there, how y'all doing?
A lot of people has come in and out this store, and he touched a lot of lives just by being in business. So he's been much more than just a businessman, more like a dad and an uncle to me.
I used to be like a guy with a temper, and like I didn't want to listen to nobody. The main thing he tells me is just sometimes it's okay to just listen.
3 generations of school pictures hanging on the wall. And in one day, they all come back to say thanks.
Those pictures are pretty much all his honorary children. He's been here touching 5 decades, from the 70s on to the 2020s. So he's ran into a lot of people, and he's been an inspiration to a lot of youth as well.
What are you doing, man?
He was my dad's payee when my dad had cancer. He made sure my dad was protected, truthful.
He gave me my first job when I was a kid.
It makes me feel good inside of myself knowing that by me talking to them all in many years, they understand that and they appreciate that. And they showing their love and respect coming back to me.
So that's been inspiring me throughout the years, just to keep a good name so it won't get back to Mr. Daly that I done messed up.